I still remember the way her voice cut through the room like a cold blade. I stared at Sophia, trying to understand why her hands were shaking. "What do you mean you're leaving?" I whispered. She didn't hesitate. "Evan, I can't do this anymore." My stomach dropped. "Do what?" "Be with me." "Your life," she said softly. "Your pace. Your dreams that never go anywhere." I felt my breath catch. "Sophia, talk to me. Tell me what's wrong." She looked away. "Everything feels stuck. I'm tired, Evan." "Tired of me?" My voice cracked even though I tried to hold it steady. She swallowed hard. "I didn't plan for this. But I met someone." My heart stopped. "Met someone?" She nodded slowly. "Adrian Hale." I laughed once, stunned. "The billionaire?" "You're joking." "I'm not," she whispered. "He understands the life I want." "The life you want?" I stepped closer. "What about the life we built?" "For years, Sophia. For years." She backed away. "I waited for you to rise with me, but you didn't." "I'm working," I said, almost begging. "I'm trying." "It's not enough anymore," she said. "I'm sorry." "You're sorry?" I repeated. "Then why are you doing this? Why now?" She closed her eyes. "Because he asked me to be with him." And I said yes. My chest tightened so painfully I thought I might pass out. "You already chose him?" She finally met my eyes and the guilt in them burned me. "I did." I shook my head. "Sophia, please don't do this. We can fix things. Just talk to me." "There's nothing left to fix," she whispered. "I don't love you the same way." My voice rose, desperate. "But you said." "I know what I said," she cut in. "People change." "Not like this," I said, choking on the words. "Not overnight." "It wasn't overnight," she said. "I've been thinking about it for months." "And you never told me?" I whispered. "It would have hurt you sooner," she said. "It hurts now," I said. "It hurts worse because you hid it." Sophia stepped closer for a moment, hesitating as if she wanted to touch me. But she dropped her hand. "I'm sorry, Evan." "Tell me it's not about money," I whispered. She didn't answer. "Tell me it's not about status. Or his cars. Or his penthouse." Her silence stabbed me deeper. I laughed bitterly. "Right. Of course. He's everything I'm not." "That's not fair," she murmured. "But true," I replied. "Isn't it?" She looked down. "I didn't want to hurt you." "You did anyway," I said. "You didn't even fight for us." Her voice cracked. "I did fight. For a long time." "Then why am I only hearing this now?" "Because you were always hopeful," she said softly. "You always believed things would somehow get better. And I didn't want to crush that." "You just crushed everything," I said. In one sentence. She wiped her eyes. "Evan, please understand. I need to move forward." "With him?" I murmured. "Yes," she whispered. I took a shaky breath. "So that's it? You just throw us away?" She didn't defend herself. I felt anger rise through the heartbreak. "Did you ever love me? Or was I just someone to hold you over until someone richer showed up?" She shook her head quickly. "No, don't say that. I did love you." "Did," I repeated. She closed her eyes again. "Goodbye, Evan." "No," I said. "No, wait, please. Just sit with me. Talk to me. Look at me." "I can't," she whispered. "Sophia, I love you," I said, my voice trembling. "I've loved you every day. Isn't there anything left? Even a small part?" She looked at me with a sadness that almost killed me. "There is. But it's not enough to stay." I stepped forward, voice breaking. "Then tell me what to change. Tell me what to do and I'll do it." "That's the problem," she said. "You shouldn't have to change everything to keep me." "But you're making me choose between that and losing you," I said. She bit her lip. "I'm choosing what I need." "And what about what I need?" I asked. She shook her head. "I can't be that person for you anymore." The room felt smaller, darker. "So you're leaving?" "Yes." "For him?" "For myself," she said softly. My eyes stung. "Say you don't love me anymore." She whispered it so quietly I almost didn't hear. "I don't. Not the way you deserve." That was the moment something inside me cracked open. I felt it, like glass breaking. Sophia stepped back slowly. "Goodbye." I tried to speak, but nothing came out. The words were trapped behind the pain crushing my chest. She walked toward the door, her steps soft, careful, final. "Sophia," I managed. "Please don't walk away." She paused, but didn't turn. "I'm sorry." The door closed behind her, and I just stood there frozen. I didn't chase her. I couldn't. My legs wouldn't move, my mind wouldn't think. Everything felt empty, like someone had stolen the air from the room. I sank onto the couch, staring at the spot where she had stood. My hands trembled as her last words echoed through my mind. I don't love you. I repeated the phrase under my breath, as if saying it enough times would make it hurt less. It didn't. The silence after she left felt heavy, suffocating, like the world had ended without warning. I sat there until the sun went down, unable to move. My life had changed in one moment, and I didn't know how to breathe without her. I didn't think heartbreak could drag me this deep, but every morning felt heavier than the last. Liam, I'm fine, I muttered when he called again, though my voice cracked. You sound like someone who hasn't slept in a week, he replied. He was right. I hadn't. I kept seeing Sophia's face the moment she said his name. Adrian. It echoed everywhere I turned. I just need time, I whispered. Time for what? Liam said. To watch her life get shinier while yours burns out? I didn't want to answer. I glanced at my phone, where another picture of Sophia with him appeared. They were smiling in a city I had never been able to take her to. I don't care about the money, I told him. You think this is about money? He shot back. She threw you aside like you were holding her back. I exhaled shakily. Maybe I was. Evan, don't do that, he warned. You loved her. You gave her everything you had. Apparently it wasn't enough, I said, rubbing my jaw. Stop looking at her pictures, he ordered. Delete them. I can't, I admitted. It feels like deleting the last 4 years. Liam groaned. You're killing yourself for someone who didn't hesitate to leave. Later that night, I walked to the small cafe where Sophia and I used to sit. The chair I always pulled out for her was still there. What am I doing? I whispered to myself. My reflection in the window looked worn out. You're torturing yourself, Liam said behind me. He had followed. Come on, man. Let's go somewhere else. I remember how she used to laugh here, I said. Evan, he sighed, memories don't mean she was meant for you. I shook my head. She promised me forever. Then she broke it, he replied. You have to accept that. I can't just switch it off, I told him. Nobody said you had to. But you can't live in the ashes either. I swallowed hard. How do I climb out? Start by admitting you hit the bottom, he said calmly. I'm there, I whispered. Good. Now stop digging. We sat on a bench near the cafe. She's everywhere, I said. Every street, every song, every damn smell. And that's normal, he said. But you can't let that define you. I don't know who I am without her, I confessed. Then you finally get to figure it out, he said. This is your chance. I scoffed. Feels more like punishment. Breakups feel like hell, he said, but they're usually beginnings in disguise. I wish I could believe that, I said. You will, he replied. Just not tonight. I nodded weakly. Thanks for being here. Always, he said. But you need to be here for yourself too. I leaned back. One step at a time? Exactly. He stood and held out a hand. Let's go home. I looked back at the cafe one last time. Goodbye, I whispered, though I wasn't sure if I meant her or the version of me who still waited for her. Then I took his hand. As we walked, Liam kept glancing at me. Say something, he said. Anything that isn't her name. I tried to breathe steadily. I feel hollow, I admitted. Like someone scooped everything out. That's grief, he said. It hurts because it mattered. I keep wondering if she ever loved me, I said. She did, he answered. But love changes. Sometimes it fades before we notice. I clenched my fist. I hate that answer. I know, he said softly. But pretending won't help you heal. We reached my apartment building. The hallway lights buzzed quietly. Go inside, he told me. Rest. What if I can't sleep? Then call me, he said. Or scream into a pillow. Just don't drown alone. I managed a weak laugh. Before leaving, he put a hand on my shoulder. One day you'll look back and see this was the moment you started becoming someone stronger. And today? I asked. Today you survived, he said. That's enough. When he left, I stood alone in my room. One day, I whispered, hoping it was true. I breathed slowly, letting silence settle. I walked into the office feeling like a ghost. People whispered in corners, pacing around with anxious looks. What's happening? I asked one of the interns. Didn't you hear? He said. The company got bought out. New owners. Total shakeup. I blinked slowly. Great. Another disaster. You're not worried? He asked. I'm too tired to be, I replied. I pushed open the conference room door where everyone had gathered. A woman stood at the front, sharp suit, calm posture, eyes that looked like they measured everything. Who's that? Someone whispered. She's the representative, another murmured. She scanned the room and said, Good morning. My name is Alara. My firm has acquired this company effective today. Groans rippled across the room. Are we getting fired? Someone asked. Not today, she said. We're evaluating talent first. I exhaled quietly. Lucky us, I muttered. Her eyes flicked toward me, sharp enough to make my chest tighten. After the meeting, I headed back to my desk when a voice called out, Evan Hayes? I turned. Alara stood there. Yes. I need a word. Privately. My stomach dipped. Did I do something wrong? That depends, she said. Follow me. She led me to a glass office and closed the door. I tried to stand straight. If this is about my performance, I can explain. I didn't call you here to fire you, she said. Oh. I blinked. That's surprising. Sit, she instructed. I lowered myself into the chair. She leaned forward. How long have you been with this company? 3 years. And in 3 years, why haven't you pushed for a higher role? I swallowed. Life got messy. Her eyebrows lifted. Messy enough to bury your ambition? I guess so. She studied my face. You look like a man crawling out of something painful. That obvious? Yes, she said. But that's not why I'm here. I frowned. Then why? Because you have potential, she said. I let out a dry laugh. You must have the wrong guy. I don't make mistakes like that, she replied. What makes you think I'm anything special? She tapped a file on the desk. Your projects, your coding style, your leadership during the outage last year. You think small because you've been living inside small expectations. I stared. I never thought anyone noticed. We notice everything, she said. I rubbed my eyes. Alara, I'm barely holding myself together. That's exactly why I'm offering you something different, she said. I froze. Offering me what? A program, she said. Full sponsorship from our firm. 2 years abroad. Training, development, and leadership immersion. My breath caught. Why me? Because you think, she said. Because you adapt. Because you have the mind of a leader, even if you refuse to see it. I shook my head. I'm not that person. You're exactly that person, she said firmly. You don't know me, I whispered. You're wrong, she replied. I've been reviewing this company for months. Your name came up repeatedly. People trust you more than you realize. Her words hit a part of me I thought had died. What if I fail? Then you learn, she said. And if you succeed, you become more than you ever imagined. I sat back. This is insane. No, she corrected. This is opportunity. I hesitated. Everything in my life fell apart. I can see that, she said gently. But sometimes collapse is necessary. It breaks the pieces so they can be rebuilt differently. Why do you care? I asked. Because talent should never rot, she said. Especially not someone like you. My throat tightened. I don't know if I can start over. You already started, she said. You showed up today. I let out a shaky breath. If I accept, what happens next? You'll relocate, she said. New country. New environment. New expectations. That sounds terrifying. Growth usually is. I rubbed my palms together. Do I have time to think? One night, she said. But Evan, don't choose based on fear. I nodded slowly. Okay. She stood and extended her hand. Good. I hope you make the right choice. I shook her hand, feeling something flicker in my chest, something I hadn't felt in weeks. Thank you, I said quietly. Don't thank me, she replied. Prove me right. When I stepped out of the room, the hallway looked different, like the world had tilted slightly. For the first time since Sophia left, I felt the faintest spark of possibility. I stepped off the plane with nothing but a small bag and a heart full of fire. The world felt foreign, cold, and vast. I could almost hear Sophia's voice in my head, laughing at my smallness. I clenched my fist. That voice wasn't welcome here. Not anymore. Alara met me at the airport. Welcome, she said. I hope you're ready. This won't be easy. I don't know if I am, I admitted. You will be, she said, eyes sharp as steel. Or you'll quit and regret it for the rest of your life. I swallowed, nodding. I wasn't quitting. Not this time. The first week was brutal. Alara threw books, tasks, and simulations at me faster than I could breathe. You need to think faster. Strategize smarter. Fail here and you'll fail in real life. I'm trying, I said, voice tight. Trying isn't enough, she snapped. Doing is. I met Marcus the next day. You look like hell, he said, grinning. Thanks for the warm welcome, I muttered. You're Evan, right? Heard about you. Ready to work? I have to be, I said. Marcus became my first ally. Together we spent nights debugging systems, arguing about solutions, failing, laughing, and learning. You're stubborn, he said once. I've got reasons, I said. You mean heartbreak? I flinched. Maybe. Rena joined a few months later. She was sharp, calculating, and terrifyingly good at financial strategy. If you want to survive here, you listen, she said the first time. I'm listening, I said, surprised at how easy it was to respect her. Jonas was quiet. Analytical. Calm. He made me rethink problems from angles I didn't even know existed. You need patience, he said one evening over coffee. Patience doesn't fix everything, I replied. Sometimes it prevents disaster, he countered, and I couldn't argue. The first failures hit hard. I lost deals, messed up negotiations, and botched presentations. Each time I wanted to curl up and cry. But Alara never let me. Pain is fuel, Evan. You either burn out or you use it. I chose to burn. 1 year in, I could see the change. My hands didn't shake in meetings. My mind raced ahead of problems. My voice carried weight. I began to understand systems, markets, strategies. I began to anticipate. I began to act like someone who mattered. Look at you, Marcus said one evening. From the broken kid at the airport to whatever this is. Whatever this is? I asked. You're not the same Evan, he said. I hope it's enough, I whispered, more to myself than to him. 2 years passed like fire. My failures became lessons. My lessons became victories. I earned respect, gained recognition, and even started seeing my name in business magazines. I wasn't invisible anymore. I wasn't the boy who Sophia left behind. Rena smiled one morning. Evan, you've changed. They notice you. Investors, partners, everyone. I've been waiting for this, I said, a strange calm settling over me. Alara watched from across the room. Good. But don't get comfortable. The real challenge begins when you walk out of here and face the world you left behind. I nodded. I'm ready, I said, though part of me wondered if I could handle seeing Sophia again. Jonas chuckled softly. You've built yourself into someone formidable. Don't forget it. I won't, I said. Some nights when the city slept, I thought of her. Sophia. The life I lost. But the thoughts no longer crushed me. They pushed me. Every memory, every sting became fuel to sharpen my mind, harden my heart, and rebuild my life. And finally the day came when I felt it. Not fear. Not emptiness. Readiness. I was ready to return. Ready to face my past. Ready to confront her. Ready to show the world, and her, that I had grown into someone she could no longer ignore. I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, this isn't the boy you left behind. This is the man you'll never forget. 2 years of fire. 2 years of pain. 2 years of becoming. And now the journey back begins. I stepped out of the cab and stared at the skyline. Familiar streets, familiar buildings, but nothing felt the same. My heart hammered, but not with fear, more like anticipation. I could feel the storm inside me coiling, ready to strike. I walked into Hale Enterprises. The lobby was cold, sterile, buzzing with people who didn't know me from a stranger on the street. I adjusted my suit, trying to seem casual, calm. Welcome to Hale Enterprises, the receptionist said, smiling. Are you Mr. Reynolds? Yes, I said, voice steady though my hands tingled. Mr. Hale will see you shortly, she replied, and I nodded. I waited in the sleek waiting area, memories flooding back. Sophia's laughter, her smile, her betrayal. And now I was here not as the boy she left behind, but as someone she could never have imagined. The door opened. Alara's words echoed in my head. Readiness comes with fire, Evan. Remember that. A junior executive appeared beside me. Evan Reynolds? You're here too? Yes. I'm here to assume my role, I said. He raised an eyebrow, confused. Role? I ignored him. My focus was on the papers in front of me. The contracts, the signatures, the authority I now held. My hand trembled as I picked up the pen. I could feel the weight of it, not just the ink but the power. My life had shifted irrevocably. Evan, are you ready? I whispered to myself. I signed. And just like that, my name was tied to Hale Enterprises. My pulse raced, a strange mix of anger, excitement and emptiness. The office door opened and employees glanced my way. Whispers followed me as I walked down the hallway. Who is this guy? New hire? Assistant? They didn't know the truth. I leaned against a wall for a moment. My reflection in the glass looked different. Sharper. Stronger. More dangerous. A voice broke my thoughts. Mr. Reynolds? CO? Yes, I said. Effective immediately. A gasp. Eyes widened. Phones were raised. Whispers turned into murmurs. I smiled faintly, almost to myself. The storm inside me roared louder. I could almost see her in the crowd, though I knew she wasn't here yet. Sophia. She would hear about this. She would see the man I had become, not the boy she discarded. I called the first board meeting. My hands were steady, voice firm. Let's begin. Questions came. Suggestions, doubts. I answered them all, calm, precise, confident. Every word, every gesture was carefully measured. I could feel their surprise, their respect slowly growing. During a break, I glanced out the window at the city. I thought of the nights I spent burning myself in study, practice, strategy. 2 years of pain had led to this moment. And now I had a choice: anger, revenge, or control. I'm not that boy anymore, I muttered to myself. Ilara's advice played in my mind. Power isn't just what you hold. It's what they don't see coming. I walked the halls again, this time observing, learning, planning. My eyes scanned patterns, weaknesses, opportunities. Every detail mattered. Every interaction was a step forward. By the end of the day, the reality settled in. I was home. And yet, nothing was the same. I had returned as someone else entirely. Someone they would have to respect. Someone they couldn't ignore. I closed my office door, breathing deeply. The storm inside me hadn't quieted, it had grown. A fire for what I had lost, for what I would take back, for the future I would build. And I whispered, almost to the empty room, this time, I'm not here to be hurt. I'm here to rise. I hadn't even made it past the lobby when I saw them. Sophia and Adrian, standing together like nothing had ever happened. My pulse slammed against my ribs, but my face remained an icy mask. Sophia froze, her eyes widening as they landed on me. Adrian's confusion was obvious at first, then a flicker of annoyance crossed his face. Evan? Her voice trembled, soft, almost fragile. I didn't respond. I let the silence stretch, letting the tension choke the space between us. Evan, wait, she tried again, taking a hesitant step toward me. I stopped. My hands were at my sides, but I could feel the storm inside me. I couldn't let her see the quake beneath my calm exterior. I said wait, she whispered, softer now, almost pleading. Adrian stepped forward, blocking her path subtly. Who's this? He asked, voice sharp. I let a faint, almost imperceptible smile touch my lips. I'm the new CO, I said, calm, deliberate. Effective immediately. Adrian's eyes widened. The new CEO? Yes, I said again. And I suggest you both behave accordingly. My gaze never wavered from Sophia. Her hand twitched as if she wanted to reach for me but couldn't. Her lips parted, wanting words she couldn't form. I let her struggle. Let her feel the weight of what she had done. You're, Sophia stammered. I didn't. You didn't what? I asked, voice soft but edged with steel. Didn't stay? Didn't care? Didn't realize what you were throwing away? She lowered her eyes. Evan, I never meant to hurt you like that. I raised an eyebrow, letting the words hang. You never meant to hurt me. And yet you did. For years, gone in a sentence. You left me for him, Sophia. And now. Her tears threatened, but she blinked them back. Life with him, it's not what I thought. I didn't know. I didn't move. I didn't speak. I simply observed her, the woman who had held my heart and then shattered it, now trembling at the edges of my presence. Adrian's jaw tightened. Maybe we should. No, I interrupted, voice calm but cutting. Sophia, return to your work. That's all I expect from you today. But Evan. No. Go, I said, voice leaving no room for negotiation. She hesitated, eyes flicking between me and Adrian. Then, with a quiet, reluctant nod, she turned and walked away. My chest ached in a way I refused to acknowledge, but my expression remained untouched. Adrian didn't move either. He finally swallowed hard and muttered, right? CO. I let him stew in confusion and unease, letting the power dynamic settle before I even stepped into the rest of the lobby. The office staff had begun whispering. I could feel their eyes on me, the silent ripple of recognition spreading through the room. Some were curious. Some intimidated. I didn't need their attention, I only needed hers. Even from across the room I could feel Sophia's eyes on me. I could see the regret flickering, unsteady, unsure. I didn't give her the comfort of acknowledgement. I didn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me falter. I turned away, walking to my office. Each step was measured, deliberate. The power, the control, it was intoxicating. And yet, beneath the calm, my heart was still racing. I whispered to myself, just as she had whispered my name, "Not this time. Not for you. Not for anyone." The storm had arrived, and it wasn't for fighting with her, it was for rising above everything I had lost. I closed the door behind me, letting the sounds of the lobby fade. And I knew, with quiet certainty, that nothing would ever be the same again. The office buzzed like a hive, but I could feel the tension in every corner. Adrian tried too hard in the boardroom again today, smiling when he shouldn't, nodding too eagerly, throwing in phrases he didn't understand. I watched from the side, silent, observing every misstep. Sophia hovered nearby, papers clutched to her chest. She didn't meet my eyes, but I knew she was watching. Every glance, every nervous shift of weight, it was all there. Later, in the elevator, she finally spoke. "Evan, you've changed. Abroad, what was it like?" Her voice was tentative, like she feared my answer. "Busy," I said, short-clipped. I kept my eyes forward, ignoring the slight tremor in her tone. She hesitated. Did you miss anything? People?" I didn't answer immediately. My silence was deliberate. I could feel her pulse quicken beside me. "I missed myself," I finally said. Her lips parted, but no words came. The elevator dinged and she stepped out, her gaze dropping to the floor. Throughout the week I saw it everywhere, her unraveling. Meetings she used to dominate, she now sat quietly, scribbling notes, too distracted to focus. Adrian tried to fill in gaps, but the board noticed. Their impressed nods at me were replaced by polite confusion at him. I found her in the hallway one afternoon, alone. She was crouched by the water cooler, hands pressed against her knees, silent tears running freely. She didn't notice me at first. "Sophia?" My voice was calm, measured, but inside my chest felt tight. She jumped, wiping her cheeks too quickly. I'm fine," she stammered. "You're not," I said, stepping closer. I didn't move too fast, didn't want to scare her further. "Why are you crying?" Her voice cracked. I made a mistake." Hearing her whisper those words tore something inside me. It should have felt satisfying, like karma finally reached her. But it didn't. It hurt more than it should, this mixture of anger, regret, and emptiness. "I know," I said softly, because what else could I say? She shook her head, voice barely audible. You were everything. I didn't realize. I thought I'd be happy with him, with all this." She gestured vaguely at the building, the lobby, the office she once thought she controlled. "I saw," I said. "I've been watching." Her eyes widened, a flash of panic crossing her face. "You what? I didn't." "Stop," I said. "Don't justify yourself. Just go back to your desk." She lingered, as if hoping I'd soften. But I didn't. I wouldn't. I turned and walked away, letting the echo of her footsteps follow me. Later, in a meeting, she asked another question about strategy, her hands shaking slightly. Adrian tried to jump in, correcting her ideas too confidently. I stayed quiet, watching them both. It was subtle, she was faltering, he was flailing. Their world, so carefully built, was cracking. During lunch, I saw her staring out the window, shoulders hunched. I almost walked over. Almost. But I stayed at my table, eating slowly, letting her watch me. Let her see the calm, confident man she had once left behind. That evening, when the office cleared, I passed her by the elevators. She didn't speak, but her eyes were red, glistening. She looked away quickly, as if embarrassed to be seen in this state. I whispered to myself, more than to anyone else, "This is the price of forgetting what you had." I didn't feel victorious. Not yet. There was only observation, patience, and the quiet, simmering realization that some things could never be taken back. Walking to my office, I replayed her words. "I made a mistake." Those 4 simple words, heavier than any threat or insult, lingered in the air. I wasn't sure if I should feel anger, satisfaction, or nothing at all. I closed my office door, taking a slow breath. The storm inside me was quieter now, more controlled. Watching her world collapse wasn't the point. The point was knowing I had survived mine, and I was ready for whatever came next. The room smelled of expensive wine and polished wood. Investors clinked glasses, exchanged smiles that didn't reach their eyes. Sophia sat beside Adrian, her posture stiff, her smile forced. I watched from across the room, calm, composed, invisible. Adrian cleared his throat. Sophia, tell everyone about the Henderson deal. They'll want to know how you managed it. Her eyes flickered to me just for a second and I felt a pang. She opened her mouth. Well, actually. Go on, Adrian interrupted, his tone condescending, eyes gleaming. Or should I? I stayed silent, letting the scene unfold. Sophia's face reddened. Words faltered. She fumbled with her notes, her confidence collapsing under the investor's polite but curious stares. I could see the frustration building in her. The way she had once commanded rooms with ease was gone. Adrian smirked, leaning back, enjoying it. I almost laughed. Almost. Finally, Sophia pushed her chair back abruptly. Excuse me. She left without another word, tears welling in her eyes. I waited a moment, then rose and followed her. The night air hit me cool and sharp. She sat on the steps outside the building, knees drawn to her chest, shoulders shaking. Sophia, I said softly, crouching beside her. She flinched but didn't move away. Evan? Her voice cracked. You don't have to explain, I said. My chest ached but my voice was steady. Just tell me how you feel. She wiped her eyes roughly. I feel trapped. Everything, this life, it isn't mine. Adrian, he only wanted me as a trophy. I thought money, power, all of this, it would make me happy. I thought I was choosing right. I stayed silent, letting her speak. Every word was a dagger twisting in me, but I didn't let her see. I left you, she whispered, barely audible. I thought I wanted more than us. I thought money would matter more than love. I didn't know happiness couldn't be bought. The memories hit me, nights I cried alone, work I threw myself into just to feel alive, the hollow emptiness I carried after she left. My hands clenched. My throat tightened. You broke me, Sophia, I finally said, voice low, almost a whisper. Do you know how it felt to watch you walk away for someone else? To feel my life collapse while I held on to hope that you'd return? She flinched at my words. Evan, You don't get to apologize and make it vanish, I continued. I suffered. I rebuilt myself from ashes. I burned through every memory, every heartbreak, every tear, and I became someone stronger because of it. Someone you wouldn't recognize. Her hands trembled as she reached for mine. Evan, please. Just one more chance. I'll prove it. Oh. I stayed silent. My gaze held hers, unwavering, unflinching. My hand tightened slightly around hers, not in comfort, but to hold her plea in my palm. The night air wrapped around us, still and cold. I can't, I whispered finally, my words heavier than any stone. She stared at me, breath hitching. Her tears fell freely now, silent sobs shaking her frame. I didn't move. I couldn't. Watching her crumble should have felt like victory, but instead it felt hollow. I thought I understood, she murmured, but I see now. I was wrong. Everything I thought I wanted. I lost. You did, I said softly. And now you have to live with it. Not me. The silence stretched between us, thick, suffocating but honest. No more pretenses, no more lies. She let go of my hand eventually, curling into herself, the weight of regret pressing her down. I stood, brushing off my suit. The streetlights cast long shadows over her figure, small and fragile in the night. I didn't look back as I walked away, though part of me ached to see her again, to reach out. The storm inside me had grown fiercer, sharper. I had survived. I had risen. And now, she was finally feeling the cost. I whispered to myself, barely audible over the city hum. This time, I won't be yours. Not now, not ever. The boardroom buzzed with quiet murmurs, a tension that smelled like anticipation and fear. Adrian strode in, chest puffed, as if the room belonged to him. It didn't. Not anymore. Evan, we need to discuss these numbers, he barked, slamming a folder on the table. His gaze swept the room, challenging, demanding loyalty. Numbers are already reviewed, I replied, calm voice steady. The board's decision stands. The project goes forward as planned. A murmur ran through the directors. Adrian's face twitched. You can't just override me. I run this company. My family. The board disagreed, I said softly, leaning back. They're trusting me to lead now. He slammed his fist on the table. You stole everything. My company, my employees, my life. I met his gaze evenly, unflinching. You took what wasn't yours first. His jaw clenched. Red crept up his neck. What do you mean? I let the silence stretch. Let the truth sink in. He opened his mouth to argue, then realized no one was on his side. The board members exchanged glances, nodding subtly at me. His arrogance was unraveling. Sophia appeared behind him, calm but strong. Adrian, she said quietly, but her voice carried authority. I won't let you dictate my decisions anymore. His eyes widened. Sophia. I make my own choices now, she said, stepping closer to the board. And I support Evan because he's earned respect. Not because of past favors or promises. Adrian staggered back as if slapped. You can't. You can't control me, she interrupted, her voice sharper now, confident. Not here, not ever. I watched her. Sophia's transformation was breathtaking. The girl who had once trembled at his words was standing tall, unafraid. Something in me tightened, a mix of pride and sorrow. Adrian's face twisted, desperation replacing anger. You think you've won? I'll fix this. Oh. You can't, I said, standing. The room fell silent. My voice was calm but firm. You lost when you decided to take what didn't belong to you. Your arrogance blinded you. Your control over others, over her, it's gone. He spat on the floor in rage. I'll ruin you. You'll regret this. I let him flail. Every word, every threat, bounced off the walls like echoes in an empty hall. I didn't need to fight. Karma was handling it. The board murmured approval. Projects Adrian had been clinging to were cancelled, his initiatives overturned. Reports of failure and mismanagement spread quietly through the company. Whispers reached him, each one a blade. I can't believe it, Adrian muttered, voice low. He looked around, eyes darting, seeking allies but found none. No loyalty remained. The world he had built with arrogance crumbled. Sophia stepped closer to me, hand brushing lightly against mine just for a second. Her eyes held gratitude, respect, and something more, regret. Not for me but for the man who had failed beside her. Adrian sank into his chair, chest heaving. How could you? You weren't ready, I said softly. Not then, not ever. You underestimated the fire in those you pushed aside. And now, I paused, letting the weight of the truth hit him. Now you see the cost. His face went pale. The man who had towered over everyone, the one whose arrogance had once been untouchable, was broken. Not physically but in every way that mattered. His empire remained but the illusion of control was gone. Sophia's gaze met mine again. I didn't smile. I didn't move closer. I just nodded once quietly. She understood. This wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, about truth, about survival. Adrian slumped back, defeated, whispers of "I can't believe it" escaping his lips. The boardroom was still, save for Sophia's soft breathing beside me. I let it stay that way. Let the lesson sink in. You lost, Adrian, I murmured, just loud enough for him to hear. And this time there's no one to blame but yourself. He stared at me, eyes wide, the full weight of his downfall finally visible. And for the first time I felt nothing but clarity. The storm inside me had finally calmed. The office was quiet, only the hum of the air conditioner filling the emptiness. My desk lamp cast a soft glow over the papers I'd been reviewing, but I wasn't focused. Something in the shadows shifted, and I knew before I saw her. Evan? Sophia's voice trembled, barely audible. I didn't turn immediately. I let her presence register first, the familiar scent, the hesitation in her steps. Sophia, I said finally, voice steady. It's late. I needed to see you, she whispered, stepping closer. Her eyes were red, cheeks streaked with tears. I can't sleep knowing I lost you. I inhaled slowly, feeling the old ache stir, a ghost from a time I thought I'd buried. You lost me, I said softly. Not the other way around. Her hands trembled as she reached toward me. I made a mistake, Evan. I left because I thought money would make me happy. Adrian, he offered everything I imagined. But it was empty. Nothing compared to what we had. I turned to face her fully now, looking into the girl who had walked away from me 4 years ago. Do you really think words can fix what's been broken? I don't know, she admitted, voice cracking. I want a chance to start over. To be with you. I never loved him the way I loved you. The weight of her confession pressed against me, and for a moment I saw the boy I used to be, the one who begged her to stay, the one who thought love could conquer everything. That boy hurt, a deep, hollow ache that had fueled the fire of the man I became. I hesitated. I felt the old desire to reach for her, to close the distance between past and present. But I also felt the strength I had built, the years of fire and discipline, the man forged from heartbreak. Evan, she whispered, taking a step closer, please? I can't lose you again. I'm not the same person, and I I want to be with you. I'm ready for us. I held up a hand. Sophia, listen. I won't lie. Part of me wants to believe you. Part of me remembers every laugh, every touch, every dream we shared. Tears welled in her eyes. Then let me prove it. Let me show you I've changed, that I see you now. Not the man I left behind, not the boy I abandoned. But you now. I looked at her, really looked, and saw the vulnerability, the regret, the hope. But I also saw the price of betrayal, the nights I spent rebuilding myself from ashes, the fire that had made me who I was today. Sophia, I said finally, voice calm but firm. I loved you once. I begged you to stay. I trusted you. I gave everything I had. And then, you chose to leave. She flinched but didn't step back. I know I hurt you. And I can never undo that. But I can try. Please, Evan, just one chance. I swallowed hard. My hands rested on the desk, gripping the edges. I thought about the nights I burned with rage, the mornings I woke stronger, the life I built when she wasn't there. The boy I had been would have fallen to her knees. The man I am, he can choose himself. I'm not that boy anymore, I said, eyes steady. I can't go back. I won't erase the lessons I've learned. I can't let the past pull me into someone else's mistakes again. Her shoulders slumped. The tears came freely now, a silent surrender. So, that's it. I shook my head slowly. It's closure, Sophia. For both of us. You need to find happiness, and I need to live my life without looking back. She wiped her tears, a faint, broken smile forming. I understand. I stood, letting the weight of the moment settle. I opened the window, the city lights stretching endlessly below. The wind brushed against my face, carrying a freedom I hadn't felt in years. This time, I whispered to the night, voice almost to myself, I choose me. Not revenge. Not love lost. Me. Sophia lingered for a moment longer, then turned and walked away. I didn't reach for her. I didn't call her back. The office was empty again, silent but alive with possibility. I felt light, unburdened, finally free. The storm inside me had passed. The fire remained, not for her but for my own life, my own future. And for the first time in years I smiled, a quiet, steady smile.